Hey, how y'all doing? I got some old crazy news for y'all. People out there in Chicago creating bonfires because they taxes high. Like that's gonna burn some of them bills. They weren't lying when they said Chicago is like a third world country. With all that fire going on, somebody got a bright idea. And allegedly, they talking about throwing Mayor Johnson up in the fire. He already looked like he been barbecued, and the people of Chicago trying to turn him into a rack of ribs.
Gathered here tonight at Harmony Community Church here in Lawndale as they're trying to light the way to fairness with this bonfire and discussion tonight. Many homeowners across Chicago receiving a hefty property tax increase in the mail, and they're all wondering where that money is going.
How can you maintain your home if your taxes are constantly going up?
Homeowners in Lawndale are searching for answers together tonight about their property tax hikes. Community leaders partnered with the Lawndale Christian Development Corporation to host this bonfire, allowing neighbors to discuss their options. One man says he received a bill this week that was $977 more than what he paid last year.
Tax increase is tied to a TIF that I have no idea why. Ogden Pulaski TIF is collecting money from our neighbors in our streets, but we're not being notified for what or why it's in the bill.
The group discussed a number of solutions for the issue, including an effort to propose new policy, which would be modeled after California's Prop 13. That would limit property taxes to 1% of assessed value, with annual increases capped at 2%. Homeowners are also frustrated because they feel like they're not seeing the tax hikes lead to notable investment in their neighborhoods.
There's been a divestment in this community for the most part, but it seems like now that people have found an interest in reclaiming the neighborhood, now it's like we're being taxed for prosperity.
Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas also spoke earlier today on the tax bills while at a Rainbow Push event. She says there are new avenues for homeowners to pay these bills at their own pace.
You do not have to pay your bill on December 15th. Did you hear that? You don't have to pay it. Let me tell you why. We went to Springfield last year and set up a payment plan.
A payment plan? You might as well pay it now, because you're going to have to pay it later. And when you have to pay it later, it might have taxes on that. This lady trying to lead people in the wrong direction. I say if you out there in Chicago, go on and pay that bill or leave Chicago. Just don't bring your black behind down to Atlanta. That's what they get for going to them rallies talking crazy to the mayor like that. He got the power to make your life a living hell. Now the whole city of Chicago about to be feeling him. They've been begging Trump for years to bring the National Guard there to clean the immigrants out their city. I guess Trump said he ain't did it for free.
Pappas says you could go online on December 16th and find payment plans for up to 13 months. That's welcome news to these homeowners, but they still want some clarity on those tax hikes.
We understand utilities are going up and things of that nature, but it's a valuation issue. Like we don't have schools we need, there's economics that aren't here, but we're being charged to pay for economics in other people's communities.
Now, some people here tell us they haven't even received their property tax bills yet, but we are told that those are going out around Chicago throughout this week.
Everybody trying to blame Mayor Johnson and literally put him to the fire, but according to him, he ain't got nothing to do with the taxes.
I will veto any budget that includes a property tax increase. Working class Chicagoans can simply just not afford a property tax increase. I've done my part. I've done my part. The real question should be, what else can these alders who oppose challenging these big corporations to put more skin in the game? The question is, what can they do? What are they willing to do? At some point, folks are going to have to meet me halfway. I don't mind working harder. I don't. I mean, I was raised in a household where we worked harder every day. But those same households are working harder every day in Chicago, and they're getting less. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I believe that the question is, who are we going to ask to do more? People who are already getting less, or people who have more than they've ever had?
He playing a dangerous game because he's trying to make it seem like he ain't got no power to do nothing for real. Just like Barack Obama. The whole president of the United States acting like he can't do nothing to make a difference and to make a change, even though his whole campaign was about hope and change and making a difference. When he got in office, he just couldn't do nothing. Act like he ain't want to do nothing. A lot of people in Chicago believe in their heart that Mayor Johnson is the person that put this property tax bill into play because he mad at the residents for disrespecting him, calling him a goofy. They treat him like he the op. He don't get no respect from the black community, and they're very vocal about it. So now he figure he might as well go out with a bang, tax that ass, so the next time they have a public debate and disrespect him, he could be laughing in the back of his head knowing that they can't afford to pay them property tax bills.
Joining us now for a reaction, Chicago resident and from the group Chicago Red that aims to turn Illinois into a Republican state, member P. Ray Easley. P. Ray, you know, these Democrats in the state of Illinois, they're such a bunch of phonies. They talk about affordability. They attack Trump on things like inflation that he inherited from Biden, and then they're jacking up everybody's taxes in Chicago and Illinois, doubling and tripling the property taxes. I mean, Illinois voters already paid the second highest property tax rate in the United States behind New Jersey.
It's actually right in line with what the Democrats were doing. The reason that our property taxes have gone up astronomically is because of the legislation that's coming out of the Illinois State House, specifically the SAFE Act, that has made us a lot less safe. We have billionaire philanthropists like Ken Griffin, who, by the way, we miss you, Ken, come home, but he took his business, the Citadel, out of Chicago. He himself was paying $200 million a year in taxes. So when we have companies like the Citadel and Boeing and Caterpillar who are leaving our downtown, now we have a higher vacancy rate, and those commercial taxes are being shifted on to the homeowners.
So does Mayor Johnson, does Pritzker see that they're losing businesses because they're so backwards with their tax structure? I mean, for example, Cook County in Illinois, it's among the nation's most expensive for property taxes. Property taxes there, it's more than what the typical homeowner in California's Orange County or LA County or San Diego County pay. I mean, so, and it's now turning into a ghost town for businesses in Illinois with how they're just so flawed in how they're approaching the tax structure.
So the issue is that we don't have enough commercial businesses paying property taxes. And those commercial businesses that are downtown are able to take advantage of tax reassessments. So then that lowers their tax contribution by 20%. And then again, that all gets shifted onto the taxpayer. We are dealing with Democratic progressive failure here in the city of Chicago. And today is the day that the bill has come due.
So basically, the people that got money ain't gotta pay taxes, but the people that's barely making it gotta pay taxes because the billionaires done up and left. And the millionaires that's still there, it's not their responsibility because the people of Chicago using the city instead of providing to the city. These people need jobs instead of creating jobs. So if you creating jobs, then you doing your part. But if you in need of a job, you gonna have to carry the burden of society. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it sounds like to me.
We cannot afford the migrants, and we definitely cannot afford to continue to victimize villains at the expense of the business community that then pushes that onto the homeowners.
P. Ray Easley, I'm so sorry you guys are enduring this. P. Ray Easley from Chicago Red, thank you so much. It's good to see you back on the show.
I sure hope the people of Chicago don't wind up setting Mayor Johnson on fire because that's what it sounds like they trying to do. They hate that man guts. They look for the only brother in the situation and take all their anger out on him. They want to ignore everybody else. That's why they keep on giving them black mayors, because they know Chicago gonna eat their own. And that's the problem. Maybe if they rallied behind that man a little bit, stroked his ego, he would want to do something for the people. But every time he come around, he a goofy, he a lame. I ain't making no excuses for the man, but people been very vocal with their black mayors. I don't recall the city of Chicago being vocal like this with any other mayor they had. They was vocal with that other lady. What's her name? She looked like a gargoyle or something. They couldn't stand the sight of that lady. She was creepy, I ain't gonna lie. She was a spooky lady, and they couldn't stand her neither. They keep on giving the people of Chicago weirdos and the way they react just cause for them people that's in position to do them dirty, because the people of Chicago gonna do them dirty every time, man. All I could do is say, damn, this ain't the time. Well, it was never the time to be living in Chicago. I don't even understand why somebody would want to stay in Chicago, man. But you know, home is where the heart is. The rumor is they talking about pushing Mayor Johnson in that bonfire. I hope they don't do it. Everything you heard in this video on my behalf is alleged allegations, speculations. I don't know what they gonna do with the fire, but it ain't like that fire gonna burn them bills. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. One more thing before I go.
Subscribe to my channel if that's what you want, but if that's not what you like, then you must be a punk. Hold on now, here we go. Who is this girl? She got that junk in her trunk. Baby girl, back it up, poke out your rump. It's S.A.T that you want.